Once upon a time in a faraway land stood a noble mansion, both elegant and grand. Within this house lived sisters, two mean and other nice.
We fight.
We quarrel.
And argue.
Wasa just sing to mice.
Don't forget to do the dusting.
And wash the window panes.
Make our beds and breakfast.
If you've got the brains.
For you see, the elder ones were nasty, cruel, and vicious. They made the youngest do the chores.
Like wash and dry the dishes.
One day a servant came with a message from the king. It is proclaimed that all young girls are invited to a thing, where they will dance with the prince in the palace hall. So gussy yourselves up, my dears, and attend the royal ball.
Oh, what luck!
Cried the girls, all caught up in emotion.
I'll bet that I will win the prince, his heart and his devotion.
Not a chance,
said the one who, of course, was older. And so began the bitter fight of which sister was bolder. And as the two used nasty words and pulled each other's hair, the youngest girl slipped away.
I guess I should prepare.
She washed her face and brushed her teeth and gave her hair a braid, then put on a lovely dress, the best she'd ever made. Then from above she heard the wails of sisters mean and yelling. When they'd be ready for the ball, there really was no telling.
It will be a while before we're set to go. I think I have time to listen to my father's radio.
Mr. Jacobs, do you have more books like this?
Yeah, they're great.
I'm pretty sure I do. Let me go check.
Hi, Carson. Hi, Monica. What's going on?
Hi, Laura. Monica and I were talking about how many princess movies there are.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah, and then Mr. Jacobs said a lot of those stories were actually books before they were movies.
Yeah, so he brought some of them out for us to read.
Whoa! Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Belles et la Bête?
I'm pretty sure that's Beauty and the Beast. I guess it's in French.
Oh, weird. Speaking of Mr. Jacobs, is he around? I need to talk with him.
Yeah, he went in to look for more books. What do you need to ask him?
I think I messed up.
Why? What did you do?
I don't know, but things didn't turn out right.
That does sound like a problem for Mr. Jacobs.
Here, you want to read and listen to the radio with us until he gets back?
Sure, that sounds fun.
I found the books, girls. I've got The Little Mermaid, Rapunzel, and... Oh, hi, Laura. I didn't know you were here.
Hi.
She has a question for you.
Oh, well, all right. Let me put these books down. So, what seems to be the problem?
Well, I think I messed up God's instructions.
Hey, welcome to the club. Any in particular?
Well, it's the whole telling the truth one.
Oh, so you told a lie?
No, I told the truth.
Uh-huh. Well, I can't say I'm following this conversation. Maybe you should start from the beginning.
Okay, you know how we're supposed to tell the truth all the time?
Sure.
Well, I was playing at my friend's house, and she did something that she wasn't supposed to do. Let's just say it made a big mess. Anyway, my friend told me to not tell anyone what happened.
I think I know where this is going.
Shh, Carson. I want to hear the story.
Anyway, when her mom found the mess, she asked us what happened. My friend said she didn't know. I told the truth.
Good for you. That must not have been easy.
I'm not so sure it was so good, Mr. Jacobs.
What do you mean?
It turned into a big argument, and now my friend is grounded and doesn't want to see me again for the rest of my stinking life.
Stinking life?
Her words, not mine.
Well, I understand that must be disappointing for you, but I still think you made the right choice.
But how? Everything turned out wrong.
Yeah, when we make the right choices, shouldn't good stuff happen?
Well, I know a story in the Bible that might shed some light on this. I'll go look it up.
Do you know what story he's talking about?
Nope.
Me either. But I hope it helps me understand.
Well, while we wait for him to get back, let's listen to another program.
All right, I've got the story right here.
Great.
This story is found in the book of Genesis and starts in the 37th chapter. There once was a young man named Joseph.
So this guy, was he my age?
Carson, stop interrupting.
The Bible doesn't say exactly how old he was in the story, but I'd say, between 6 and 17.
So about my age.
Right. Joseph had 11 brothers, and 10 of them were...
Evil stepbrothers?
Carson!
I'm just curious.
Actually, that's not far off. They didn't like Joseph because he was their dad's favorite.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it isn't. And it didn't help matters any when he started having dreams about how his whole family would one day bow before him.
I'll bet that made his brothers really like him.
And then there was the time when he had to tell his dad the truth when his brothers had been doing bad things.
Hey, kind of like me.
That's right, Laura. So it was no surprise that when they had the chance, his brothers sold him as a slave.
Wait, what?
Now who's interrupting?
This is serious, though. They sold him? Like a real slave?
That's right. He was taken to Egypt and bought as a slave to work for a man named Potiphar. There, he worked hard and did what was right, and that got Potiphar's attention. He put Joseph in charge of all of his house.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, but one day, Potiphar's wife got angry with Joseph and told a pretty big lie about him. Potiphar was furious and threw him into jail.
Man, I see why you chose this story. Joseph hadn't done anything wrong, and all of this bad stuff happened to him. Was God punishing him for something that we don't know about?
I'm sure that's what was going through Joseph's head. But he didn't stop doing what was right. He worked hard, even in prison, and soon he was in charge of taking care of all the other prisoners. And then something happened.
What? What happened?
We'll find out right after this program.
Come on, Mr. Jacobs. You've got to finish the story of Joseph.
Yeah, that whole "we'll find out right after this" thing wasn't funny. This isn't a TV show or something.
All right, girls. Where was I?
Joseph was in prison.
And in charge of taking care of the other prisoners.
Right. Well, God had given Joseph the ability to understand dreams.
Oh, yeah. He had dreams about his family bowing down to him.
Exactly, Monica. After a while, two prisoners had some pretty confusing dreams, and so Joseph told them what they meant. And after 3 days, just as Joseph had told him, one of the men went back to serving the king.
Well, that's great. But what happened to Joseph?
That's the exciting part. A few years after this, the king started having strange dreams and asked his friends if they knew what these dreams meant. That's when the man remembered Joseph and told the king about him. Joseph was brought before the king and asked about the dreams.
And he was able to help?
Oh, yes. God helped him understand the dream, and because of this, all of Egypt was saved. Joseph was given the job of second in command, and through his power, he was able to save his whole family from starvation.
Wait, what? Something tells me you've skipped a lot of the story.
Guilty. If you want to read the whole story, go ahead and look it up yourself. It's in Genesis 37.
Yeah, you said that earlier. What I want to know is, what does this have to do with my problem with my friend?
Well, Laura, like you, Joseph made the right choice. He told the truth, worked hard, and things still went wrong. But the thing to remember is God knew that Joseph was making the right choices. He knew that Joseph loved him. And so even when mean people did bad things to him and made his life a terrible mess, God was able to take that mess and save all of those mean people from dying.
So if we want good things to happen, people need to be mean to each other?
What do you think, Carson?
No?
No. God wants us to do good things, to love Him and to love others. When we do that, no matter what happens, good or bad, God will make everything work out for the best, like it says in Romans 8:28.
Okay, but what about my friend? He's still pretty mad with me.
Well, I'd say to give it time. Even Joseph's brothers were sorry for what they had done after a while, and they and Joseph became good friends in the end.
All right, thanks, Mr. Jacobs.
No problem.
Yeah, can we go back to reading these books now?
Sure. Are you guys done listening to the radio?
Yeah, I'll turn it off.